A robot walked a live police patrol through one of China's busiest cities during morning rush hour. The same machine had already knocked its own creator completely off his feet, with a kick so powerful he said on camera it would have shattered bones without protective gear. They named it the T800. And once you understand what it can do, the name stops feeling like marketing. The kick that changed everything. When Engine AI first released footage of the T800 throwing spinning kicks, capoeira-style strikes, and full-force combat punches, the reaction online was almost universally skeptical. The movements looked too precise, too smooth. Comment sections filled with accusations of CGI, motion capture suits, and edited footage. The company had a credibility problem, and the CEO solved it in the most direct way imaginable. Zhao Tongyang strapped on thick protective gear, walked into a training room with a T800, stood directly in front of it, and gave it the command to kick him. The robot threw a full-force sidekick straight into his chest and stomach. The impact lifted him completely off his feet and sent him flying backward across the mat. He landed flat on his back. While still catching his breath, Zhao spoke directly to the camera. Without the protective equipment, that kick would have shattered his ribs and caused internal organ damage. He acknowledged on camera, with visible nervousness, that he was not confident he could survive another test session. But what people fixated on was not the force of the impact. It was what happened in the milliseconds after. The T800 did not wobble. It did not flail its arms searching for balance. Its stabilization system fired instantly. The robot returned to a clean, upright position and delivered a martial arts salute, ready to strike again before its creator had even started sitting up. That combination, raw destructive power paired with instant recovery, broke the assumption that had underlaid every previous discussion of combat robotics. You can hit hard, but you will lose stability. You can move fast, but you will sacrifice control. The T800 appeared to have no obvious trade-off at all. What is actually inside the T800? Engine AI is based in Shenzhen's Robot Valley, and the T800 reflects a philosophy that diverges sharply from the direction most Western robotics companies have taken. While competitors optimize for warehouse efficiency or domestic assistance, Engine AI built for scenarios where things go wrong. Environments that are chaotic, unpredictable, and physically demanding. The frame stands 173 centimeters tall and weighs 75 kilograms. It is constructed from aviation-grade magnesium-aluminum alloy, a material chosen for a specific combination of properties. It offers the structural stiffness of steel at a fraction of the weight. And unlike pure aluminum, it has high internal damping, meaning it absorbs the vibration energy of a high-speed impact without transmitting that energy into the electronics housed inside the frame. The physical design anticipates being hit and plans for it accordingly. The joints are where the engineering becomes genuinely startling. The motors driving the T800's limbs generate over 450 Newton-meters of torque. To contextualize that, a high-performance luxury car engine produces similar torque figures. Here, that force is concentrated into a single knee or hip joint. More rotational force than the vast majority of professional athletes, including professional mixed martial arts fighters, can generate with their own musculature. A full 360-degree LiDAR system combined with dual stereo depth cameras creates a point cloud of millions of data points per second, allowing the onboard computer to track not just where a person is, but how fast they are moving, and where they will likely be in the next 2 seconds. Balance and stride are recalculated 500 times every second. The high-capacity solid-state battery supports 4 to 5 hours of active dynamic movement, running, jumping, and striking, not slow walking or idle standing. The police patrol, from gym to street. After the CEO kick footage went viral, the skeptics moved the goalposts. The padded gym was a controlled environment. Real streets were a different proposition entirely. Then footage arrived from Shenzhen that made the gym demonstration look like a warm-up. In March 2026, at the intersection of Wuhu Avenue and Yapao Road, the T800 reported for work alongside actual police officers during morning rush hour. It was not trailing behind the patrol. It was standing on a command platform, synchronizing its gestures with traffic signals, and using its vision system to identify e-bike riders operating without helmets, flagging violations in real time through an identify, warn, and close-the-loop system functioning in the middle of a live urban environment. The crowds noticed. Phones came out immediately. But what observers consistently reported was not the strangeness of the machine's presence. It was how unremarkable its movement appeared. It did not lumber. It did not glitch through micro-corrections. It moved with a deliberate practice stride that read as intentional rather than mechanical. Officials were explicit that this was an experimental integration, not a full operational deployment. The purpose was data collection on human-machine interaction in a real public environment. How do people physically react to it? Does it impede traffic flow? Does it help or hinder the patrol's effectiveness? But the more important question is what this kind of experimental deployment becomes by 2029, when the data from that patrol and hundreds like it has been fed back into the training model. Every technology that is now considered routine was experimental first. The world's first robot combat league. A&D, why it is really a data factory. On February 9, 2026, Engine AI announced the Ultimate Robot Knockout Legend, the world's first commercial humanoid robot combat league. 16 teams ranging from university research labs to independent startups. Engine AI handed every team a T800 unit for free. The prize is a 10-kilogram solid gold championship belt valued at approximately $1.4 million. The rules mirror real combat sport. Best of 3 rounds. A robot knocked down that cannot stand within 10 seconds is a knockout. 2 operator interventions is a technical knockout. Human operators handle strategy. The robot's AI handles balance, striking mechanics, and survival response in real time. This is not entertainment. It is a data factory operating at extraordinary scale. In traditional robotics development, you test a machine on a flat controlled surface under ideal lighting conditions. You might apply force with a broomstick to evaluate balance response. But the T800 in the Fighting League is absorbing full force impacts from machines specifically engineered to destroy it, operated by the smartest robotics engineers competing for a $1 million prize. In one season of this league, these machines encounter more edge cases, the rare unpredictable problems that break AI systems, than they would accumulate in a decade of warehouse operation. When a robot takes a punch to the head sensors record the vibration and structural stress signatures. The AI learns precisely how to fire balance algorithms during a dynamic collision. When a robot lands a kick, the system maps the force delivery curve from every joint involved. Engine AI is crowdsourcing combat intelligence from the global robotics community and getting them to stress test the T800 harder than any internal testing program could. To prove the T800 was not limited to fighting other machines, Engine AI had one spar with Muay Thai legend Buakaw Bonchamak, a human fighter whose movements are fluid, deceptive, and explosively unpredictable in ways no robot opponent could replicate. This is reinforcement learning from physical feedback at its most direct. In a lab, a robot learns to walk. In a fight, it learns to survive. Unitree's Spring Festival AN 600 AN 79 million witnesses. On February 16, 2026, during China's Spring Festival Gala, broadcast live to 679 million viewers, dozens of Unitree G1 and H2 robots performed drunken fist kung fu, handled nunchucks with precision, and executed spinning staff combinations on the most watched television stage on Earth. The 2025 gala had featured a simple synchronized dance. The 2026 performance was a different category of technology entirely. The highlight was the catapult launch sequence. Robots launched 3 meters into the air, executing mid-air backflips, and landing stably on stage in front of a live global audience, with no safety nets and no second chances. A single fall would have been a national embarrassment broadcast, simultaneously to hundreds of millions of people. The G1 units, weighing only 35 kilograms, absorbed the kinetic energy of the landing through 500 Hz control loops, and transitioned immediately back into martial arts forms. Unitree's CEO revealed that hundreds of millions of training iterations were run in simulation before any robot touched the stage. The AI was being taught to manage angular momentum mid-air, repositioning limbs to control rotation rate the way a professional diver or a cat instinctively does. The simulation to real pipeline operating at this level means the robots are not following a choreography script. They are using real-time physics modeling to prevent themselves from crashing, making decisions in flight that no programmer explicitly wrote. The dual-use problem nobody wants to answer. On January 4, 2026, during the 12th International Army Cadet Week in Nanjing, China, publicly demonstrated a humanoid robot designed specifically for military applications. A bipedal motion-controlled machine capable of replicating a remote human. Operators' movements in real time. A CEO who let his own robot kick him across a room to prove the footage was real. A machine patrolling Shenzhen streets during rush hour in 2026. A combat league generating physical intelligence that a decade of warehouse testing could not replicate. 679 million people watching robots perform kung fu on a national broadcast stage. A $16,000 price point that makes the technology accessible to businesses, not just research institutions. And a flywheel of data, deployment, and improvement that is already spinning faster than any regulatory framework can track. The question is not whether this technology is coming. The question is what kind of world you are standing in when the flywheel reaches full speed. Drop a comment telling us whether you would feel safer or more concerned seeing a T800 on patrol in your city. Check the end screen for more robot stories sitting there waiting right now.